A double dosage of games today between the Chatham Anglers and the Bourne Braves on a Tuesday afternoon. Time now for the Manager's Show with manager of the Chatham Anglers, John Schiffner. Now, Schiff, last night the Chatham Anglers almost seemed like deja vu with the Brewster Whitecaps as they battled back, but Chatham persevered in the end. What were your thoughts in that ninth inning where 2 outs, 2 strikes, and then Brewster battles?
Well, there's a certain thing I'm not going to comment on, but I think people can figure that out. But you know, that's why Brewster's won 22, 23 games, whatever it is. I mean, unfortunately, they've lost 5 in a row, but they're a good team. And they showed why they're in first place, or at least tied for first place. They're very good. They didn't quit. Coach Myers uses his bench very well. He's got a number of guys on the bench. Those pinch hitters came through, you know, and Kevin didn't, you know, Kevin made a couple good pitches that, you know, just found the hole, or, you know, we didn't make the play. But, you know, in the end, we did our job again, and we got the big base hit by Riley, so I'm very pleased.
Now, do you feel like you gave Brewster a bit of a taste of their own medicine? Because yesterday, Chatham very active on the base paths.
Well, we just take advantage when we can, and there's certain situations where, you know, we had a little bit of a lead, we had a little bit of momentum, and we had the right people on base, and so we're going to do that when we can. But sometimes if you're down by, you know, a couple of runs, you just don't want to steal in that situation because we aren't scoring runs in bunches. So we've got to be very careful. So that's why we weren't running. But with a lead or a tie, and you get the right guys on, you can then move, and that's what we're trying to do.
Now, how aware were you guys of the fact that Brewster, on the other end, like I just said, they are leading the league in stolen bases? So with a guy like Jacob Stallings, do you have a chat with him before the game and make him aware of the fact that these guys are going to be on the move? And they were.
No, he knows. I mean, Jacob knows. I mean, Jacob's just a solid defensive catcher. He just does a great job back there, and he's improving by night defensively. He's done a great job with some of the things that he's just improved more in his blocking. His footwork is a lot better, and his arm strength's always been there. And, you know, he's really done a great job for us back there.
So now the Chatham Anglers with 2 games today against the Bourne Braves. This was going to be a league-mandated off day before the All-Star game. Instead, there's 2 games. How difficult does that make it for you to manage the lineup today?
It's not. You know, we have the depth. We have the players that can do it. We have the pitching staff that can do it. We were very fortunate last night that, you know, we pitched 4 guys that pitched, 4 innings, 1 inning each, and didn't really tax their arms. They'll be able to come back today. We're always confident that Zucchino and Denhart can get us deep into a game, so not concerned. And we're just going to rotate our guys around and make sure nobody's getting, sitting on the bench too long, and see if we can get some more offense generated. Nothing's going to change dramatically.
2 Jersey boys on the mound in Mark Zucchino and Mike Denhart. But looking at the All-Stars, especially a guy like Aaron Westlake, Joe Pavone, and Rick Oropesa is going to be in the home run derby. Does any sort of rest factor into today, heading into tomorrow?
No, tomorrow's a big. It's just there's no mental anguish. There's no grinding. It's just have a good time day, and that's not going to factor in at all. Joe's going to catch the first game. Phil's going to catch the second game. Ricky's going to play. He's going to play first base in the first game, probably DH the second game. We're just going to do what we can do. I mean, right now, obviously, because of the pitching situation, that does take precedent. But as far as playing goes, we're going to try to play and win every game because we really can't afford too many more losses. So we're going to go play hard as we can.
Yeah, how much are you paying attention right now to the standings with a team like Orleans, because Chatham trying to battle back, and you guys have played many less games than the Firebirds, but they're on a roll.
Right, they're playing very well, and we really need to come out of here with the absolute worst as a split. We really could use a sweep today. That'll give us 4 points behind Orleans, and let's game on if we're 4 points back. If we come out of here still 8 points back, it's going to be real difficult to catch up, but not impossible. But a sweep today would really be nice.
Now, you don't like to look too far ahead, but did you take a peek at the schedule and see what the last 2 games are, and that Orleans and you guys are fighting?
That's the way it should be. I mean, why not? And, it would basically mean the winner takes it all, and that's what you strive to do. That was our goal this year from the beginning, was to get better, make the playoffs. And, I think if we do get better, we will make the playoffs.
So now quarter 3 of the season is complete. The Chatham Anglers go 3-8 during that stretch, and let's go over your report card.
It's not good. Starting pitching did a very good job. We give the starting pitching a good solid B+. The bullpen probably could have done a little bit better job in certain situations, but then again, when we're behind, the bullpen's, we can't. The bullpen's not going to be able to help us. Especially our strength is in our late pen, and hitting was just not a good job. We just did not get the bat on the ball in that streak, and we'll have to give them a good D-. But what can you do? Like I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, they are trying. We've been in virtually every one of these games. There hasn't been a blowout, and that's credit to the pitching staff, but it's also a credit to the hitters at keeping it close. It is what it is. Last night we busted out with 12 hits, and I thought, we had some big hits, and if we can continue to do that, who knows? We'll see what happens. Right now it's to leave the Cape with a good taste in your mouth.
Can you attribute that D- hitting to anything in specific, or is it a certain approach at the plate, or just some unluckiness, maybe a mix of both?
I'll say a little bit of unluckiness. I will also say that some guys need to change their approaches at the plate, and we've been constantly working on that. And again, it's tough. It's a mental thing. It's a physical thing. The ball looks differently to us in the dugout as it does to the hitter, and there has to be some adjustments made, and some of those guys are trying to make those adjustments. And that's, like I said, it's not like they're just defying the coaching staff and just not caring. They do care, and they come back and they're upset that they had a bad at-bat. But we can see some improvement in some guys, and we made some changes in the lineup for that reason, to see if we can shake things up a little bit. And last night worked a little bit.
Yeah, what did you think of last night's lineup, especially a guy like Brian Humphreys, who's been in the leadoff spot for most of the season? He goes into the 7th spot, and he really flourished.
I think it's part, you as a pitching coach on the other side is going to pitch to the lineup a little bit, so you pitch it differently. So I think Brian might have seen some pitches he might not see in a leadoff spot, which helped. But then Jason Martin took some great at-bats up top of the lineup later in the game, squared a couple balls up, dropped a beautiful bunt down. If we get a couple more guys rolling just a little bit, we can take the pressure off Ricky and Westy in the middle of the lineup. And if we can get some offense from the bottom of the lineup, it does take pressure off the middle. So that's, and again, there were little indications of that last night.
And on the pitching side of things, it changed. Although Kevin Vance had a rough go of things yesterday, he was a starter for one game, was pegged to start again this weekend, but due to rain, that was washed out. Now he's been pegged back in the bullpen role. What went into that decision?
A lot of it just was, what we needed was the strength in the pen. We feel that we've got the arms to carry us to where we want to be, and who knows what we'll do with Kevin later on if we make the playoffs. And Kevin just enjoys coming out of the pen anyway, so it's a matter of a comfort factor for him, and that's important. If you're, uncomfortable doing something, well, why make someone do that? I mean, that's part of coaching. It's like, let's see, he doesn't want to do that. Well, then, what? Maybe we won't have to do that. Maybe we can make some other adjustments. And some of the other guys in the pen coming out of the pen have stepped up where they can start as well. So that part was part of that decision. But Kevin pitched pretty well last night. He threw the ball exceptionally well, and he just got, like I said, a tough call. He blows a guy's bat up, and it turns into a weak error, and he jams the heck out of another guy, and it just barely makes it into the outfield. I mean, I don't think Kevin pitched that bad. It looks like he did, but he did not. I thought he threw very well.
Schiff, thanks for talking to me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's the Manager Show. I'm Scott Braun on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.